founder of the Unchained TV free streaming network, Jane Velez Mitchell. You're about to hear a secret solution to the problems that plague our world. If you want to revolutionize your health, get truly joyful, and jump to the next phase of human evolution, all it takes is one simple choice. Now, here's your host, Jane Velez Mitchell.
Hello, and I am so excited to tell you about LA Climate Week. It is coming up, people, September 8th to the 15th. And there are more than 100 events. And there are incredible events that you can be part of. And we're going to tell you exactly how you can do all that. And of course, all of it is a call for planetary health and climate justice. Guess what, people? All you have to do is step outside to realize we are in a climate crisis. The Earth is on the verge of 5 catastrophic climate tipping points. According to scientists who are warning us about this, the world is on the brink of 5 disastrous climate tipping points. Giant ice sheets, ocean currents, and permafrost regions may have already passed the point of irreversible change. But we are optimists, and we know that together we can do something to stop a climate apocalypse, turn it around, and what better place to start than Los Angeles? So I would like to introduce the folks who are part of all this. I've gotten to know them. JC Arce, you are, I would say, the leader of this. So I would like you to unmute yourself and tell us all about LA Climate Week. Unmute.
Hi. Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is JC, and I am the co-founder, co-executive director of the Kaleidoscope Foundation. What we do, very simple, support impact leaders and nonprofits with their back office and through collective power. And in the last year that we've been working, I had this idea alongside my co-founder, Dan Thorman, a year ago during your Climate Week, where we were like, LA has so many amazing organizations and so many amazing impact leaders that work in climate, but they're not talking to each other. And frankly, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of resources, capital in LA that can be used to mobilize real solutions to address this climate issue. Now, I'm so happy to say a year later, this vision has come to life alongside my dear friend and partner, Lara Rudar. And just to see the community, thousands of people and hundreds of organizations come together and producing these hundreds of events this year brings so much joy and a lot of hope for me and for us at Kaleidoscope Foundation. We're just really excited to have you all join us during Climate Week.
I am super jazzed. I want to hear from Lara all about the various extraordinary events, and we can all take part. And by the way, if you're listening or watching from far away, you too can take part, because there are some remote events that you can join via Zoom. So the most important thing for you to write down, I think you should actually write some of this stuff down, is to visit laclimateweek.com and register for these events, because there's going to be a lot of them. I'm attending a lot of them. I'm speaking at one of them. I'm super jazzed that Unchained TV is a media partner and that I'm on the steering committee. Steering. But Lara, tell us about what people can expect.
Sure. There are 100 events, more than 100 events actually happening throughout the week, all the way from documentary screenings to hikes to town halls with deputy mayors, to sustainable fashion shows, and of course our closing ceremony, which will be one big party celebrating climate action and the community here in Los Angeles. So many different events, open to all age groups. We have, elementary children's book readings on climate, to climate runs and marches. So really something for everyone. So I hope that you join us.
I'm very excited about it. And one of my dear friends, Samantha Lau, has just jumped on. Samantha, I'm going to ask you to tell me why you decided to get involved. Just look into the camera and talk.
Hi, everybody. Yes, so for Plant-Based Treaty, this is a very exciting opportunity for us to get involved because we need everybody to understand that a plant-based food system can absolutely fight climate change. Right now, the animal agriculture is very devastating. It is causing a lot of havoc on our planet, and we have this opportunity to let everyone know, to get everybody involved who's involved in the LA Climate Week, to importance of having a plant-based food system to fight climate change.
Yeah, and I'm just going to put up some of the events that, look, there's 100 of them, so we could literally spend an hour listing them. But guys and gals, if you're watching and you're in LA, take notes. If not, listen and realize that this could happen in a city of your choice. I know we're nationally syndicated. We're heard in Atlanta, as well as various other parts of California, and on podcasts around the world. So if this excites you, you might be able to do this in your city. At a great restaurant called O-Lock, there is going to be a film called Eating for Tomorrow, narrated by the famous actress Kate Winslet. That is happening on Friday, September 13th. Oh my God, Friday the 13th. Well, I don't believe in superstition. It's a good way to remember it. And one of my heroes, Dr. Silas Rao, is going to be doing a Q&A afterward. I did an entire documentary on Dr. Silas Rao that streams on Unchained TV. He is a genius and he has some great solutions. Here's a really fun one. We've got a sustainable fashion show happening, and that's on September 10th. So that is a Tuesday, I believe, from 6 to 9 p.m. Everybody is invited. And I would say that that is going to be one of the most exciting events. We've also got, this is on the 9th. So this is Monday. This is one of the first events after the big kickoff on Sunday. This is a climate town hall. And again, you're invited. You can see here that it's on September 9th, 5:30 p.m., Fiesta Hall in Plummer Park, which is in West Hollywood. So just remember, Plummer Park in WeHo, and it starts at 5:30, and it's going to be an incredible panel discussion. So these are just some of the incredible events that are happening. And obviously, Unchained TV is a vegan streaming network, so I am very excited that there's going to be a big emphasis on a plant-based lifestyle. And you can see that there's going to be vegan food trucks, including one of my favorites, Word of Mouth, at the closing ceremony. So I want to go back to JC Arce and ask him all about the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies. What are those going to be about? JC, unmute and speak.
Sorry, I have technical difficulties. Can you please repeat the question?
Yeah, no worries. Tell us about the opening ceremonies and the closing ceremonies.
Will do. Well, we are really excited to bring together the hundreds of organizations and hundreds of people that have produced all these events and celebrate at the start of LA Climate Week this Sunday evening, September 8th, for our opening ceremony. And it's really a time to come together, meet other organizers, and celebrate this momentous occasion. The closing ceremony is an opportunity to bring together the larger LA community. Anyone who is think children, to families, to parents, to partake and really see the magic that is LA Climate Week and just celebrate all the energy and all the work that's been done throughout the week.
Okay, well, that was a good explanation. Let me see if we can go back to my dear friend, Samantha Lau, and I would like you to unmute yourself, and let's all stay unmuted, people. Okay, and just tell me what your involvement is with this event. Unmute.
Yes, sorry. Okay, so yes, we are planning we have 9 events scheduled for the entire week, and our involvement is that we're planning a lot of different types of activities and events throughout the week, ranging from a town hall to a climate run to an art exhibition, art gallery showing the devastation of climate change, and to a fashion show, to screening of Eat for Tomorrow, and then we are going to end it with a climate march. So we're very excited to have all these different avenues of reaching different people in spreading the message about how important it is to fight for a sustainable system.
Excellent. I know you've been working very hard on it, and I am very excited to attend these events. Let's cut to the chase. Let's talk about the underlying issue here, and that is climate change, and the fact that climate change is literally posing an existential threat to our world. And I think, what's great about this is that Los Angeles is where all the trends start. So we need to get serious about fighting the climate. That is super, super important. And there is one aspect of the climate crisis that cannot be ignored, but it has been ignored a lot. And that is animal agriculture and food. I'm going to put up an article that was in the New York Times and that pretty much explains where we're coming from, and that is save the planet, put down that hamburger. Researchers examined the diets of 55,500 people and found that vegans are responsible for 75% less in greenhouse gases than meat eaters. Now, this is not just anybody saying this. This was an Oxford University study that studied 55,000 diets, and after very in-depth study came to this conclusion. Now, when I saw this article, I thought, well, surely CNN is going to say something about this because they play catastrophe porn day and night. Surely MSNBC is going to say something about this. I certainly didn't expect Fox News to say anything about it. But no, nobody picked up this story. The story of the impact of animal agriculture on the climate is not being told. Why? Well, there's a pretty obvious reason. Look at the advertisers. The advertisers are the meat, dairy, and pharmaceutical industry. So if they put this up, well, wait a second, what are the implications? The advertisers keep the lights on. I was in mainstream media for more than 30 years. I'm not just talking, off the top of my head. Okay, I've seen it. I've seen it in action. So what we're trying to do is alert people that, of course, we want to fight fossil fuels. Of course, we want to switch to sustainable energy. Of course, we want to use solar and other alternative energy sources. But what we eat 3 times a day, what goes on our plate, is extremely important. And I personally feel that it has been underemphasized by the environmental movement, and I'm extremely thrilled that LA Climate Week is giving it its due. So Lara, can you weigh in on that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, we as LA Climate Week really want to inspire action and inspire lifestyle change, right? So one of the ways we're doing this is partnering with different companies, with different restaurants, organizations. Of course, our opening and closing ceremony, all the events we organize are plant-based entirely. But it's been so amazing seeing that the restaurant, for example, that we're partnered with for the opening and closing ceremony for catering, or the venue that we're partnered with, will be going entirely vegan for the week of Climate Week with a special plant-based menu, but then also extending that to the whole month and slowly trying to become vegan as a restaurant. So it's been really great having discussions with restaurants, not really in the plant-based community, and for them seeing this excitement with LA Climate Week, seeing the community wanting more from different businesses and restaurants, and them actually contributing to climate action in their own way. So genuinely, I think LA Climate Week is a great place for people to even just try plant-based food and see how amazing it is, and then integrate it into their diet. So we really are trying to cater to the broader public and get them into lifestyle changes into the climate movement.
All right, and we've got some callers right now. Let's go to Dazar from the Plant-Based Treaty is joining us because the Plant-Based Treaty is very involved in this. Welcome, and what are your thoughts and comments?
How's it going? Thank you again, Jane, for everything you do, for being a pillar in the community. Yeah, we're just very excited to be a part of LA Climate Week. Thank you to LA Climate Week, all the organizers, Laura and everyone. And it's exciting. It's a great moment in history because we need to empower ourselves because so much of the time we're not empowered by our governments or, officials, such as being in the drought in California. They tell you, shorten your showers, let your lawn die, don't wash your car, you'll get ticketed. Never once did they say, hey, switch out that to get a plant-based meal when you can save about 2 months worth of showers predicted, So it's a great sign of the times, and we're so happy to be a part of it. And, and make that bridge to, go along with fossil fuels, solar, electric, drought tolerant. But let's get the food systems in there because that's like half of the toolbox, half of the fire extinguisher, and we got a lot of work to do. So we're very excited. There's so many events. We invite everybody to join the events in person, and there's also online events. So, LA Climate Week, everybody's been working around the clock. Sam, Laura, JC, everyone, all the organizers, you, Jane, myself, our organizers from Plant-Based Treaty, Ellen. So we're very excited, and it's here now. So we hope everybody comes out and join. Don't miss out. We hope to see you at all these amazing events. You're going to want to be there.
All right, Cesar, tell us about the march, the Climate March, which is, everybody write this down, Saturday, September 14th. It's a great opportunity to go to the beach. Lot 5, which is very easy to find. You're going to see a lot of people gathered right smack dab in the middle of the boardwalk, Santa Monica. Just remember Lot 5 South. It's easy to find. Go to the beach in Santa Monica. Easy to find. Tell us about the Climate March.
Yes, the Climate March is amazing. So again, we're bridging the communities. The vegan communities, animal rights communities, climate communities. We all need the unity because we are stronger together. And to have this march in beautiful California on the coast, reflecting towards the oceans and just everything in general, it's going to be amazing. A lot of networking going on. We're going to have some food from the Vegan Joint is donating some food. So, make sure to bring your sunscreen and stay hydrated. And it's going to be amazing. So we hope to see you there, as well as the WeHo Town Hall on Monday. And there's events on in between, the opening, closing ceremonies. It's going to be amazing. So we hope that you can make it out. Tell your family and friends, come on out. And let's save our planet. We only got one home. This is it. We owe it to the future. We owe it to the past, present, and future, all the babies, everyone.
Tell us about another one. Tell us about Eating for Tomorrow, narrated by Kate Winslet, down at the incredible Olak restaurant.
Yes. We're going to be at Olak screening the amazing Eating for a Better Tomorrow. Don't forget, Unchained TV will be covering all these the live streaming network. So we're going to be over there with the Q&A with Dr. Salish Rao will be there doing a Q&A. It's going to be really awesome. So we hope you can make it there. I think that one is a capacity, but there is a waiting list. So some people might not show up, so we'll be able to get more people in there. The WeHo Town Hall on Monday with Vice Mayor is going to be amazing. Tuesday, we have a sustainable fashion show with a panel as well. That's going to be amazing. Wednesday, we have the unveiling of the gallery. We have the reception at the gallery. That's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of amazing artists are going to be there and showcasing their artwork. Thursday, we got a 5K at Bestie's Vegan Paradise, and I believe there's going to be some shirts given away. That's not announced yet. You guys are the first to hear. There's going to be some free shirts given away for the runners, as well as there's going to be an amazing musical event in Pasadena for Mother Earth with legendary jazz artists. So check that out and get some more of those details and see. And then Friday, of course, the screening, and Saturday, the Climate March. So we're busy, but you know what? We don't have any time to waste. The time is now. This is the coolest summer you will experience for the rest of your life unless we start making changes right now. And you can empower yourselves. We all have the power to do it.
You are so absolutely right. And Cesar Acevedo, you are my hero because you are working so hard on this. And I've been getting all sorts of updates. So it's true. We are dealing with a climate crisis. It's right in our face every single day. We see it. I happen to live near the coast. It's a little cooler, but it's still plenty hot to the point where my dogs at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they can't even touch the pavement. Imagine what it's like in Arizona or Phoenix.
Mother Nature likes the idea of summer sticking around out west where heat alerts are in effect. This includes LA, where temperatures will get close to 100 degrees. A ridge of high pressure will be responsible for potential record heat across Washington and Oregon Thursday and Friday. Seattle could hit 90 on Thursday with triple digits in the forecast from Portland down to Medford. This is going to be very uncomfortable for people without AC, which is common in this part of the country.
Yeah, that's just a slight taste. I was reading about temperatures that are hitting 120 degrees. Look, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you can't walk across the street without fainting, if a delivery person, and this is already happening, cannot deliver because they're collapsing due to the heat, what's the point of it? JC, what is the big picture here?
Yes, the heat issue within Los Angeles is a very, very it's a paramount issue here, and I'm really excited to actually be speaking and moderating the panel alongside not just Deputy Mayor Vice Mayor Chelsea Byers from West Hollywood, but the LA City Chief Heat Officer of Los Angeles. Now, this Chief Heat Officer is in a very unique and influential position as a decision maker within Los Angeles and a leader within this space to actually advocate and push forward policies and recommendations to address this heat issue. Now, as an Angelino and resident that's been living in LA for the last 5 years, I've only seen this issue become worse and worse. And the reality is it's not just a heat issue. It's not just a food systems issue. All these issues are so intersectional and interconnected that if we can actually identify these opportunities to tangibly work on heat and food systems, for example, you can actually move the needle forward in this collective manner that we're doing at Climate Week. So I'm very, very excited to actually set that new precedent addressing these issues.
I'm so excited and honestly honored to be a part of this. It's really mind-blowing, just the sheer amount of events. It's great, and it's free. You can take part in this. You could be a part of history. This is the first LA Climate Week, but it certainly won't be the last. So when you look back on your life, don't you want to be a part of history? I remember being at the Women's March in Washington, D.C. I will never forget that. I was part of history. This is the same kind of thing. So we really want everybody to get involved. Okay, we've got some more callers. Nilofar in Dallas, Texas, your question or thought?
Hi, it seems like such a huge endeavor to hoist and dispatch such a grand event in Los Angeles. I will wager it's going to be successful. Los Angeles is the top vegan-friendly city in this country. Well, what do you think about copying this event, for example, in another metropolitan city such as Dallas, Texas?
Woo! I love that question. Lara, you want to take it?
Sure. Yeah, there are a lot of different climate weeks happening all around the world. I think the original, I might be wrong, was New York Climate Week. So that happens every year. We also have London Climate Week, and then SF and also Pacific Climate Week. So there are a lot of different climate weeks, a lot of companies and organizations putting them on. We just thought, as a nonprofit based in LA, why is there no climate week in LA, which is the second biggest city in the US and also a very highly emitting city. So there definitely has to be more work done here. So please reach out to your local nonprofits and companies and ask them, hey, why is there no climate week in Dallas, Texas? And maybe they can put one on, or you can also create one yourself. So please, all the power to you.
Well, they say everything starts in LA and then spreads eastward. I've seen it with many, many things, and I think this is going to be one of them. Now, we've got a special caller, Jonathan Ohayon, who is the man who is putting together the fashion show. Jonathan, bonjour, monsieur. Tell us all about your sustainable fashion show that's going to be happening September 10th, 6 to 9 p.m.
Yes, bonjour. First of all, the reason why I called is mainly to give a big thank you to LA Climate Week for creating this. So sustainable fashion, I think one of the biggest pillars of sustainable fashion is ethic and compassion. I think we don't talk enough about it in the sustainable fashion world. And so thank you for giving this opportunity. I believe if we were implementing ethic in fashion, meaning taking care of our planet, taking care of the humans, of the animals, the fashion wouldn't be one of the world's leading polluter, but actually will be the one healing it by creating second-hand store, by giving more beautiful alternatives to leather or fur or all these horrible materials that are destroying our planet. So that's what we're going to do in this event, is showcasing ethical alternatives in our conference, and as well in the fashion show, where you can see beautiful alternatives that you can actually purchase on Shop Like You Give a Damn, which is a beautiful marketplace. The founder, who live in Amsterdam, is coming all the way for this event, so it's going to be amazing.
All right. Now, tell me one thing that I'd like to know. And I kind of know it, but you are the expert, Jonathan. People say, well, leather is natural, and they love to point to leather alternatives as being synthetic and not natural, and somehow extrapolating that those are worse for the environment. That's not true. You've explained it to me. You've written a book about this. Tell our audience.
Yeah, exactly. I talked about it in the fashion industry doesn't want you to read this book. And basically, leather is not natural. What is natural is the skin of the animal. But nobody wants to wear a skin that will rot after a couple of days. It's going to smell bad. So they use around 50 to 250 different chemicals to make this the skin becoming leather. So then it becomes non-biodegradable, and it releases a lot of chemicals. There's a lot of carcinogenic chemicals in those leather, like arsenic. You can find chrome 6, which is one of the worst. That's why a lot of people are producing overseas, because the regulations are not as bad. So then they can produce a lot of leather full of chemicals. And even if it went to biodegrade, it will release all these toxic chemicals in our river, in our soil. So it's the worst. There is as well studies that prove that the production of plastic, even the worst type of plastic, has 4 times less impact on the environment than the production of leather. So I'm not saying plastic is a solution. I'm just saying that if we all agree that we should get out of plastic, we should agree 4 times more that we should get out of leather.
I agree. And I could talk to you about this all day. I feel very strongly about it. But let's go to the next caller we have. Thank you, Jonathan. And au revoir, monsieur. I will see you at the fashion show. Karen in Venice, California, your question or thought for our fabulous panel.
Hi there. So I get pretty infuriated when I'm watching mainstream media and the weather people come on and they talk about climate change, but they don't discuss the issues. Okay. They just talk about, maybe fossil fuels. How can we educate them? And I know it's scary for them, because the ones that might know, I don't think they all actually realize this. How can we get them to talk about this on TV? Is it possible?
JC, you're nodding your head. Take it away.
Well, I'll just be very frank. The reality is climate doomerism and climate anxiety is a great story to tell on news and media outlets. And that is a story that turns people's heads. But frankly, our mission at LA Climate Week and Kaleidoscope Foundation is to take that anxiety, take that doomerism narrative, and change it into something hopeful, something tangible. I mean, as longtime climate activists and organizers, working with people like Laura, for example, we understand, being on the front lines, that there are tangible ways for people in their personal life to, in these larger institutions or through media groups as well, to actually identify those opportunities to be hopeful. It's really interesting that is an issue. The reality is that we, as the people curious and wanting to do the work, we just have to find ways to smile. I remember being at an event, a climate conference event, where I was put down because I was smiling, and I was questioned to have hope in this space. The reality is, if you all cannot identify a way to visualize a future in 5, 10, 20, 30, 100 years, where your family, where yourself and your community can feel happy, can feel safe and healthy, then it is a lot harder to even fight and address these issues. And that's really what we want to do, is make it so that we give you a reason through Climate Week, a reason to smile and a reason to find that hope, and to work together to address these issues.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. In fact, there was an article in the New York Times that said that climate apocalypse doomsday mentality is giving way to hope. And I just read a book called Not the End of the World, which is by a very, very knowledgeable statistician who interprets the data in a way that allows us to say, hey, we can turn this around if we start making changes. And that's why I want to applaud the two of you for, and I'll be honest with you, including the plant-based message in your overarching mission and how you're making it manifest. Because in the past, I personally have been shouted down and told to, quote unquote, you be quiet, when I have brought up the issue of animal agriculture's impact on the climate and the amount of land that is used for animal agriculture, and how it contributes to habitat destruction, wildlife extinction, and of course, human world hunger, which is not necessarily a climate issue, but it's a very serious issue, obviously, especially for those people who are hungry, because animals are eating a huge percentage of the food we produce that could be diverted to humans. So there's so many aspects of this. It's a natural, but let's face it, food is a very primal issue. And a lot of people were very resistant. And I've even read books by climate authorities who say, well, people are going to eat what they want to eat. That's a cop-out, because the US government, for example, heavily subsidizes animal agriculture. That cheap hamburger that you get for $2 would cost 25, maybe even more dollars if it weren't subsidized by the US government. And Unchained TV has been doing a lot of interviews and stories on the Farm Bill that is currently being debated in Congress that will set the agenda for how much subsidy goes to that and how much goes to actually fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, and legumes that humans eat, which is a teensy tiny fraction. So I think it's a really important subject, and I just want to applaud LA Climate Week for having the courage to bring it up, because I will tell you that there are a lot of quote unquote environmental groups that don't want to give it up because they don't want to offend their donors and their a membership group that are still eating animals. So it takes a lot of courage, but let's face it, the reward is coming up with a solution to climate change, which thus far, those COP meetings and all of that have not even accomplished. And the final thing I'll say about that is that, look, the World Bank itself, which is an incredibly powerful institution that controls billions of dollars, has publicly called for changes in farm and food production to cut greenhouse gas emissions. And the final thing I'll say is that the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which is a UN agency, attempted to recommend a plant-based diet very recently, and it was blocked. The recommendation was just shut down. And so what you're doing, you're on the forefront of history. And I think the two of you are my heroes. No exaggeration. You are my heroes for doing the right thing and making it a part of this. So, my gosh, we've got so much going on here. More people calling in. Steve in Dallas, Texas, your question or thought for our panel?
Yes. Hey, Jane, thanks for bringing up what happened with the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Their summary report for policymakers was blocked and edited in a lot of ways, but their main report still has the recommendation and it shows that a vegan diet by far causes great reductions in greenhouse gas emissions. It's still there in the main report. It's just not in the summary report. And they have bold statements in that main report saying that changing our diets is essential. It's one of the best things we can do. It shows that it has the potential to reduce more emissions than many solutions out there that are pitched all the time. Our national climate assessment, mandated by Congress, also highlights this diet change, plant-based diets as a huge and essential thing we can do to address climate change. It is there in those main reports. The summary reports are being influenced by a lot of people. So it's there. Great resources, plant-based treaty, plant-based data, speciesjustice.org/FAQ, George Monbiot. A lot of these experts are out there dispelling the myths. There's a great article, Merchants of Doubt, same strategies by the climate fossil fuel groups are trying to spread misinformation. I think it's great to empower us to reach out to climate movement activists, show them that there's synergies here, get them on board. There's a lot of great resources out there. Thank you for highlighting this as one of the most important things we can do to address climate change.
Thank you so much. And you obviously are very knowledgeable, and I appreciate that. There's nothing like a knowledgeable caller. They're gems. So now we have Samantha Lau on the phone. She is somebody who has done so much work for this effort, this Climate Week, LA's first ever Sunday, September 8th to Sunday, September 15th. Samantha, tell us about some of the key events. And I want to start with this Hollywood Town Hall. Tell us about the Hollywood Town Hall. It's open to the public, is my understanding. I'm going to be there. We're going to be going live and interviewing people. This sounds absolutely fascinating.
Yes, it is a very, very exciting event. This is the event where we have invited a lot of local policymakers. Vice Mayor of West Hollywood, Chelsea Byers, is going to be on the panel. And as JC mentioned earlier, we're also going to have LA Chief Heat Officer Mara Segura. We're going to be able to talk about how local legislative action can help fight climate change, can help build resiliency in all our communities. And we've invited a lot of policymakers from all over the area, such as Beverly Hills, Culver City, Pasadena, all over, and of course, LA City Council, to come and participate and see how we can use food systems to fight climate change and other programs that West Hollywood has implemented to fight climate change. And aside from the panel discussion, we're also going to have plant-based food, all vegan food available for everyone to try out. We're going to have crates, we're going to have mini samplers. And so that's going to be a very exciting event. And we're also going to have NGOs, nonprofit organizations tabling their networking with policymakers to make sure that LA Climate Week is not just this week, but beyond. After LA Climate Week, we want to make sure we continue the conversation and take action on fighting climate change with a food system.
And again, this is a climate town hall. Unchained TV will be there, as well as the plant-based treaty. And it's a Monday, the 9th. And it's 5:30 to 8:30 at Fiesta Hall in Plummer Park, which is in West Hollywood. Just put Plummer Park in your Waze and you'll get right there. It's at 5:30, but the discussion goes on till 8:30. And again, delicious plant-based food will be served. If you are feeling, wow, there's so many events, how do I keep up? you can very easily go to laclimateweek.com, and it's all there for you. You can register for these events. They're free. It's going to be fun because why do I know that? I'm going to be there. Just kidding. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So this is a really fun one. And just give me one more insight into this march, because I'm super psyched about this climate march. I'm going to be speaking, and I've been to a few of these climate marches. It's a celebration. It's a perfect way to spend a Saturday. That's Saturday, September 14th. It starts at 11 o'clock. Go to Lot 5 South in Santa Monica. Basically, just go to the main parking spot at the beach in Santa Monica. Not the pier, but just south of the pier. There's a nice little parking lot toward the southern end of Santa Monica, and you're right there. Tell us about that, Sam.
Yes, so that is a big climate march we plan to do to raise awareness about the ocean, because, as you know, animal agriculture is definitely devastating the ocean. Temperature rise, sea level rise. So we definitely want to raise awareness about what's happening in the ocean. At 11, we will start our rally where, as you know, Jane, you'll be one of the speakers, and we'll have other speakers talking about the importance of the ocean, because if the ocean dies, we all die. So we need to take action on making sure our ocean is safe. And so we expect a lot of people to show up, and we're going to have a rally from 11 to 12. And then at 12, we're going to start the march along the beach, and it'll be great. We'll also have drone footage, and Unchained TV will be there. Thank you so much for capturing this important event.
Well, thank you for all you do, Samantha. You have worked around the clock. I can tell you, I know that everybody on this show has worked around the clock. In fact, I'm a little nervous about taking time away from them to talk to us because they've got so much work to do. However, let me say this. You are the people listening, the people watching. You are the most important people because you have to come to make it come alive. So I go to a lot of different events. I can tell you from what I know, these are going to be super fun. Super fun. I like to have fun. I'm not a doomsday person. Sure. Do we have to go to protests every so often? Yes. But this is a celebration. JC, why you? You're a very young man. You and Laura have taken the lead on this. Tell us about you and how you came to be the person who is spearheading this.
Well, first off, I so appreciate the acknowledgement in terms of like this leadership and this opportunity. But frankly, I would not be here, and this would not all happen if it weren't for people like Laura and my entire team and just my entire support system, who have contributed to my well-being, my ability to smile widely on and off camera. And frankly, I would say I've always been really, really passionate and really curious around climate change. Ever since I was young, every opportunity I had to do a research paper at school, I was always doing on climate change. And I had this fascination, especially towards polar bears. And, when the height of the youth climate activist movement, I would say, started in like 2017 through like 2020, I had this opportunity. I had moved to Boston, Massachusetts, actually, and was able to organize the largest strike in the history of Massachusetts. The Boston climate strike, and we got over 50,000 people to strike business as usual and fight for a Green New Deal. And that was such an amazing experience that really cemented this fervor, this ambition within me. I didn't know at the time what that actually meant, but this pledge to build a life and create a root in impact, purpose, and community. And so, now 5 years later, 6 years later, working alongside folks at Kaleidoscope Foundation and the LA Climate Week organizing team to say, hey, I have this vision of bringing the Los Angeles community together, 10 million people within the county, and hundreds of thousands of people online, millions of people online saying, hey, we have this opportunity now to take the amazing precedent that New York Climate Week, that COPs, that other events and other leaders in this climate and sustainability space have done throughout the many years, and say, we can do this here in our home, and do something to fight this issue, but also find ways to smile together and be in each other's arms. That is really, it's to say, hey, that was the vision, and to see that vision come to life is just the most heartwarming thing, and just feeling very, very blessed to have all this happen. And really, I want to echo what I said. We would not be here if it weren't for the amazing folks such as Laura, who've just done such an amazing job to make this vision come to life.
Well, absolutely. And Laura, I would love to hear why you. What is your inspiration and backstory that makes you so passionate about this particular issue?
Sure. The story is that, of course, Dan and JC thought about this months and months ago. And they came to me, and JC especially was like, Laura, I have an idea. Like, what if we host LA Climate Week? And I was kind of like, okay, JC, calm down. That's kind of a good idea. But nothing happened for like a month after. But then I was just thinking, and I was like, wait, actually, I was in one of my lectures at university, and I was like, wait, actually, this is a very important thing to create. Why does LA not have a climate week? And so I went back to the team and I'm like, okay, guys, like, we're doing this. I don't care what you all think. I think it is a brilliant idea, and we have to do this. So we've been working on it day in, day out, literally around the clock to put this together. So it's been amazing. For me, I have attended different conferences. I was at COP28 in Dubai. I was at the Stockholm Plus 50 conference, and it was just always the same 1,000 people, the same faces at these conferences. And if really climate is impacting the public, why is the public not at these conferences? It is so, I guess, like, inaccessible to people, and people find it really hard to become activists and attend these conferences. So really, LA Climate Week is all about getting the public and bringing them into these conversations, because climate change and climate action can only be achieved and solved if the public is involved, because it really is a collaborative effort. So yeah, bringing all the lessons I've learned from all these different UN conferences, meeting with the IPCC, I really wanted to put something together that is really a reflection of our climate space today. So thank you, JC. Thank you to the whole team. It's going to be a brilliant week, and we hope to see you there.
You guys are so inspiring. I really see a sea change in the environmental movement in the last 5 years. I think that prior to that, people kind of had their attitude toward, well, this is how you do it. I can't tell you how many biographies of famous people I listen to, because I walk my dogs and listen to biographies, and they are purporting to be environmentalists, but there's a lot of things they are personally doing that are very environmentally unsound, big time. And so, not that we want to shame people. I'm sure I'm not the perfect environmentalist either. I only recently started composting, primarily because I run a streaming network about plant-based living and sustainability, and I was uploading videos about composting, and I stopped myself and I said, I'm a hypocrite. I'm uploading videos about composting and I don't compost. I started composting and now I love it. And, I learned. So we're all a work in progress. But I do feel that as this crisis manifests more to our face, I have friends who can't live in Palm Springs in the summer. They can't even go to their houses in Palm Springs in the summertime. It can't. They have to have an apartment here in LA, which is kind of crazy. And so we're seeing this happening in our face. We're seeing the rising sea levels. We're seeing houses not far from here in Rancho Palos Verdes crumble and fall into the ocean. We're seeing wildfires devastating not just people, but also the wildlife. It's becoming less hypothetical and more real. And I think, as the road gets narrower, people are starting to maybe get a little more real. I use an addiction analogy. We have to hit bottom. Okay, I'm 29 years sober. And until I hit bottom by making a big fool of myself at a party in Hollywood with a lot of important people around, I didn't want to hear from anybody. I was like, yeah. But then I hit bottom, and then I got help, and I haven't had a drink in 29 years. Hopefully, April Fool's Day, it'll be 30 years. And yes, that is my sobriety date, which is very apropos because I made a fool of myself all the time. But the point is, I had to hit bottom. When are we going to hit bottom on the climate crisis and realize that it's going to take a lot more than just lip service, JC? It's going to take us changing our lifestyles.
Yeah, if I can hop in here, we're at the point, I firmly believe this is, especially now that Gen Z and young people have really taken that leadership position in communicating and raising awareness around these issues. We're at the point where climate change is no longer this intangible, oh, is this a problem or not? I think people have reached the consensus, not just within the US, but around the world, that this is something that impacts our lives in very different ways. For example, due to climate change, we are expected to have a whopping 1.2 billion people displaced due to climate change and climate-related catastrophes by 2050. And things such as displacement to food apartheid, that is not just impacting people in the global south anymore. Now it's impacting people in developed cities in Western states, such as the US, such as Los Angeles. You might not know this, but if you go out in your community, there are displaced individuals. Your neighbors might be impacted by by climate change themselves. And all of that to say, this is an opportunity. This LA Climate Week, September 8th through 15th, is an opportunity for you all to, go beyond asking questions and doing research. It's applying the little that you know and taking that leap of faith, like we all have done here, and saying, you know what, I can find a way to do something about this and take this theoretical knowledge that I have and apply it in my own personal life. And no act is too small, and you're never too late to get started. And I really, really firmly believe now that no matter where you go, people are talking about this and people are curious. Be the one to start those conversations and be crazy enough like we were to be like, you know what if in a year from now, we're going to do a climate week, or we're going to put on that sustainable fashion show, we're going to do this town hall. You are part of the solution as much as we are. And we need you, frankly. We need all of you to be with us to find these solutions. And I want to say one more thing. Sustainability and action can mean a lot of different things. And what is sustainable for one community can be different for another. And I say that because being representatives and being part of your community, you know your community the best. So be the one to voice and to advocate for what works for your community and for your people and for your home. That is really what we're trying to do here in LA, just because there are 88 cities, for example, within LA County, and each city has its own set of constituents, its own policymakers, and really giving that space, making that space to advocate, and not just advocate, but to do something about it is very, very important.
Well, I just think, first of all, your courage in so many ways. This is a big project. I recently threw one party and I thought I was going to lose my mind. And by the way, I apologize for barking at you when you had your mics muted. It's, these things become very stressful, and I just want to give you two a compliment for handling everything very gracefully. I can learn a little bit from you guys. I don't know how you're doing it, staying calm, cool, and collected while this massive event, more than 100 events within LA Climate Week, September 8th through 15th. They're putting their blood, sweat, and tears into this. So guys and gals out there, do yourself a favor. Get involved in LA Climate Week, okay? I mean, it's going to be fun. And I just want to say thank you to both of them. And while we're at it, please download Unchained TV.
So it's a vegan Netflix. Okay, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I love Unchained TV.
Unchained TV. Your life will change. It's just that easy.
Unchained TV has all sorts of content for everybody.
Unchained TV changed my life.
Unchained TV is crushing it.
I love Unchained TV. Unchained TV is my go-to.
Unchained TV. Who knew?
Unchained, baby. Yes.
Discover Unchained TV and
transform your life for free. Unchained TV is a nonprofit organization producing plant-based content filled with tips and tricks to spice up those healthy veggies, grains, and legumes. For more information on Unchained TV Productions, just visit unchainedtv.com. That's Unchained.